Burning Blaze 55 asks, where did you get inspiration for your art style? It's very clean and well refined. Was there a particular creator artist that inspired you, or did you get there by experimenting and seeing what stuck? Hi everybody, my name is Brent Mations. I'm doing a Q&A. I'm just kind of doing off the cuff. There's not a script. There were questions posted on my Brent Mations channel, and I'm reading them. Richard Elson, the main artist, or the artist that you know from the UK Sonic the Comic, is my favorite artist, and I tried to mimic him as hard as I can. His Sonic style was all like his stuff. He's like, I think he works for Marvel now doing Spider-Man stuff. I'm not sure, but his journey is super interesting because his style starts out really, really not basic, but just compared to, it's like looking at the Dragon Ball manga for Akira Toriyama, who is also one of my favorite artists. But Dragon Ball starts out, it's still interesting, really good, but just like, if you just all of a sudden skip the Cell Saga, it's like, well, these are two completely different artists. And so that was kind of Richard Elson, as he started out drawing Sonic, and it was still really good. And then by the end of his run, it was just like this next level. So so in 2018, 19, I started doing TikToks, like drawn TikToks, and it started out with just sketches. But then, like, as TikTok got more popular, more and more artists started to bring their A game. And so I eventually it started with just sketches, and then I started to do color sketches, and then I started to do I kind of refined the sketches a little better than I colored underneath them. And then I started doing line work and flats. And then I started shading. And then I took away shading and everyone revolted. So I brought the shading back. And I kind of just, I just felt like I needed to bring it. And so I hated my job and I hated my life at the time. So I thought YouTube and TikTok would be a way out of my life and if I just drew enough, eventually I would get a following and money and stuff. And I made a couple of wrong decisions, like putting all my faith into YouTube Shorts and then having them pull the rug out from underneath creators. And then YouTube Shorts becoming like the wild, wild west. It was anyway. I drew a lot. I just drew a lot, and I always have like a reference. Like my canvas when I draw is a canvas on the left side is a bunch of pictures of that character that I think have the best style. So for Sonic, it's Richard Elson, it's Toei Sonic, it's a couple fan arts that I've seen around that I'm just like, damn, they really nailed like what I really like about Sonic. And so that I do that for every character. For every character that I draw, I always have a reference of like really like for Amy Rose. There's a fan artist there's a fan artist, that just fucking kills it. And like for Rouge and Shadow, it's like I have like several pictures of the character up all the time, so I'm constantly looking at a reference for like what I like about the character. And so like Scott Shaw was who was the first artist for Sonic Archie Comics. He did like issue 0 for a little while, and then I drew like him for a long time. And then I tried to, I learned how to draw humans by imitating Akira Toriyama. And then I just kept kind of drawing, like, stuff that I liked. I had a long stint of my content creation was Animaniacs. And so I had a long line of drawing Yakko, Wacko, and Dot, like, every day for, like, 2 years. That's not even a joke. And so my style, and then I switched over to trying to look like Toei Sonic and Richard Elson. And so I have this mix of, like, Animaniacs, Toei Sonic somewhere. It's just kind of like, I don't know. It's funny that I actually get a lot of people that are like really like supportive of my art style. People used to hate my art style, like just viscerally just despise it. So the fact that people are like being really nice about it, like, I don't know, I'm appreciative, but it's really, really weird. I kind of, like I would draw art and people would forget about me and stuff. I posted in Discords and no one would say anything, and then someone would post something after me, and then everybody would just talk to that person that posted the new thing, and I'd be like, okay, I'll just go shoot myself, I guess. Like, so I don't know. Everybody was really, there were like several comments that were like, oh, I love your art, and that's really cool. There's a reply to this. I didn't post this here. Kind of reminds me of Five Nights at Freddy's Sonic Battle 2 art style. Oh, Sonic Battle 2? Sonic Battle 2? Sonic Battle 2? No. Friday Night Funkin'. Oh no, Friday Night Funkin'. I like the style just fine. I drew a lot of Friday Night Funkin' characters when I first started to really do like draw all the time. Maybe, I guess, that's a good point. I didn't even really think about it. Lady K Productions 147 asks, when did you start writing music? What inspired you? I always kind of played around with music. I don't know how to play an instrument. I have terrible rhythm. I can't dance, but I was always really fascinated with music. And, I have a really eclectic sort of collection of music. When I was a teenager, there was this game on PlayStation 2 called like Beat Maker or something. You took samples around and messed with it. And so I kind of started making stuff from that. And then I had a Mac, and our family was solely a Mac computer. So I didn't have any of the cool, like, neat Windows only stuff. And so then I found like GarageBand was all of a sudden like, it came with Mac computers, and that was basically like the PlayStation game. And so I made a lot of really just terrible songs with that. And then I used to import MIDIs and change the instruments around, and I made like hundreds of songs with that. I think I had one kind of okay sounding Sonic Spinball song out of everything I made. It's on my SoundCloud right now, actually. And then I kind of just like, I just wanted to make, so like COVID hit, right? COVID hit, I lost my job, and I did everything I could to try to make money. I did everything. I put my nose to the grindstone on drawing. I made an album right away. I made like 2 albums in 1 year. I did like everything I could think of to try to. So I did a lot of production with music, and then, but it didn't. I still don't have over 100 listeners in a month. So I'm kind of discouraged with my music right now because what does it say? How I have 92. This is the most I've ever had. I have a music channel that has under 500 subs, and I have a Spotify that I've never gotten over 100 streams a month. And so I'm kind of like, the people that like it are really nice about it, but there's just not like a lot of people. So I'm kind of discouraged by it. So Junior Bradney, Junior Bradney 8896. What got you into Sonic and drawing in the first place? And how are you doing? Sonic, I would have to blame my dad for Sonic. So I'm old, so I had the very first Sonic game when it first released. Yeah. My dad was really big into technology and stuff, and so he bought like computers and stuff, and he bought the first NES back in the day, and he played it a little bit, and then I got to play it when he wasn't home, and so I played it all the time. And so he bought the Sega Genesis because it was just a new piece of technology, and I was into video games. And what came with the Sega Genesis but Sonic? And so I would get up early before school, and I would play it a little bit. But I could never beat it. Sonic 1 for like a little kid was crazy hard. It was super hard. Especially like the third Scrap Brain Zone was the worst. Like people talk about the drowning music is terrifying and like, okay, whatever. But as a kid, it fucking sucked. The last Scrap Brain Zone was so hard. Yuji Naka is a sadist. God, Jesus Christ. And then one day, my dad came over, and he had like the light shining behind him, and the wind came out of nowhere, and he handed me the instruction booklet, and I said, "Father," and I took it, and in the back there was a section for notes because the instruction booklets had a section for notes because they wanted to print more paper. I have no idea, but on the notes he wrote down something called level select. What do you mean level select? And that was my first introduction to cheat codes. And so, up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right, A, start, and then boom, I could go right to Scrap Brain Zone. Hell, I could skip Scrap Brain Zone if I wanted to. I could just go right to the boss. And so I was able to like beat Scrap Brain Zone and like beat the game properly. So, and then, but I kind of attribute my fondness for Sonic is because I moved a lot. My mom was in oil, and so I lived in Anchorage, Alaska, right? And so year one, I moved to Ohio. I know Ohio's a meme now, LOL Ohio, but I moved to Ohio and I left all my friends and a lot of my family behind, and it was a brand new state, and it was completely different, a different culture, because Anchorage, Alaska, and the lower 48 is just a completely different. It's totally different mindset. I don't know how to explain it. And so I didn't know where I was, like a foreign country practically. But what did come out was Sonic. And so like I moved to a new state, and like I quote unquote met Sonic. And so that was kind of my comfort as I played Sonic all the time. And then we moved in only a year, like less than a year again, because mom moved to Ohio for oil. And then when she got there, the job was dissolved because the company is a piece of shit. And she either had to find a new job in Ohio or could get a guaranteed job if she moved to Houston, Texas. So she moved to Houston, Texas, and we moved again, which is a lot for a kid, right? And then, but what came out the next year, or like pretty close to the next year, was Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So again, new state, Sonic comes out with a new game, and I played Sonic. I played games all the time, but it really was like, Sonic was like, I played Sonic 2 all the time, and like the internet was kind of new, but you could look up codes and stuff. And so I found like cheat codes for Sonic 2, and Sonic CD also came out. So and then those had a ton of like input. So I would like use debug. I played Sonic CD all the time on debug mode, like crazy. I would give like superpowers, and I would just be, and then in Sonic 2, you could get all the emeralds, like you could spawn in rings. And so I would be Super Sonic right away. I would be Super Sonic fighting Silver Sonic or Mecha Sonic Mark II or whatever the hell his name is. And I played Sonic 2 a bunch. And then Sonic 3, I was really hyped about Sonic 3 because there were ads everywhere, there's magazine ads. I was freaking out. And we were going to Alaska for a family trip to see, because I had cousins and aunts and uncles and stuff in Anchorage. And I've told this story before, but it's a good one. And so we were going to, it was on a Friday. And so we were leaving that evening to go to Anchorage, Alaska on a red eye flight. It's called red eye because you fly all night, then you have red eyes. In case you don't know, in case I'm just speaking foreign nonsense to you. So I didn't know if I was going to get to play it. I was really excited about, video game. I didn't really have like a lot of friends. And so it was like video games. I don't know if I was going to play it. I'm just going to be thinking about, I really want to play it the whole time. I'm in Anchorage. I'm going to just be thinking about this game, blah, blah, blah. When I got home, Dad actually went to the store while I was at school, and he got it. And when I came home, it was on the stairs, just hanging out. It was just there. So it was like, Sonic was like, hey, what's up? I'm here already. What's up? What? Yeah, hey, you got a couple hours. You want to play this game? I'm like, hell yeah, I want to play this game. So a couple hours before the trip, I actually got to play Sonic 3, and I was all excited, having a good time. And it was like, I got to pack. We got to go. I got to pack and stuff. So I'm glad I got to play it at least. Now I can kind of have that on my system, but I'm still going to be playing. I'm still going to be thinking about it because I'm a kid in video games. And, it was like Sonic was like, it's cool, man. I'll just hang out here and like, we'll just be back. And then my dad was like, hey, guess what? We're taking the Sega Genesis and Sonic 3 to Anchorage, Alaska, because we got a whole day where you and your mom, because he calls my mom your mom, not her name and not mom. He says your mom. You and your mom, me and your mom have a thing we have to go to that you like kids can't go to. And so we're going to bring the Sega Genesis and Sonic 3 to the hotel so you can play it while we're out that day. And I was like, oh, yeah. And then I high-fived Sonic, and he was like, sick. I never been to Alaska. And I'm like, no, it's fucking awesome. And so Sonic and I went to Anchorage, Alaska. And my cousin, who was like my big brother, he's like older by 2 years. My cousin, Mike, Because he was like my big brother basically. We lived basically a couple houses away from each other in Anchorage, and then I moved away. So we went back, and I saw basically my brother, and we played Sonic 3. And me and Mike played Sonic 3 and Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. That also came out. And so that's all we did that one day where everybody was busy. We just played Sonic 3 and Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. We did that all day. And it was like the best day of my life. It was like you're like a kid, like a young teenager, whatever. Sonic 3, Sonic, the original Sonic 3. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah, Sonic 3, baby. Oh, and then Sonic and Knuckles, these kids I used to babysit for, they got Sonic and Knuckles early. Not earlier than I did, but I got to play it because they got it early and I was babysitting them, so I got to play it with them, and that was pretty neat. I think I took the first turn, though, because I was a piece of shit. I think I was like, well, since I'm the Sonic expert, I should play first. And, of course, the kids were like, yeah, you should. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, all right. So that was cool. I got to play Knuckles for the first time. That was neat. And then, just it kind of was, so Sonic was like, and then like the internet started to kind of be a community and stuff. And I drew Sonic all the time, and I met a bunch of people, and I met a bunch of artists that also drew Sonic. And I just kind of a community. Like Sonic was like in my DNA at that point. And so I drew Sonic all the time to fit in with all the other artists, and I just like drawing, Sonic Brain Rot. I drew him all the time. I think there was, I broke up with a girl because of Sonic Adventure, not necessarily, but so Sonic Adventure came out. I rented the Dreamcast all the time, and I think I got I rented the Dreamcast from Blockbuster all the time because my parents had bought it me for Christmas, but we had to wait till Christmas. But I rented it all the time. But it didn't come with the save cards. So I played Sonic Adventure over and over and over and over again. But then one day, I finally got Sonic Adventure, and I played off and on here and there. And one day, my girlfriend came over, and she fell asleep on the couch. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I guess I'll play Sonic Adventure. I don't know. And so I actually beat Sonic Adventure, actually beat it with like all the storylines, and then Super Sonic. And my girlfriend was passed out. And like the next day at school, she was at high school, she was pissed off that I would play a game rather than like interact with her. She got mad. And I just remember like, you were asleep. Well, you took a nap. I was just killing time. I don't, what do you mean? And we got like to an argument about it. And then eventually I was like, fuck this. And I just left. So I chose Sonic over her. I don't know. She was asleep. I swear to God. I wasn't like playing the game to ignore her. We were like hanging out and she fell asleep. And I was like, well, I guess I'll just play Sonic. I don't fucking know. Anyway. How are you doing? I don't know. I don't want to be mid. I don't want to be melodramatic. Mid. There's a lot of shit. There's just a lot of shit going on and a lot of shit not going on. There's just, I don't want to get into it, but mid. Spring Johnny asks, do you have any Do you have any hobbies that you like to do? Do you wish to make videos about other content? Do you have any interests or hobbies? I like gaming. I like the video game essay stuff. I want to do everything. I want to make an animated series of my own original characters. I want to do video essays about new animes. I want to do video essays about gaming stuff. I want to do stop motion animation. I want to learn 3D art. I want to like focus only on my music. I want to learn claymation. I want to learn how to do little statues. I want to do, I want to do everything. I want to do I want to do cardboard cutout. I want to do everything. But I only have so much time, and I wish I could do you wish to make videos about other content? I have a music channel, and I try to make videos about that, and those barely get over 100 or like 200. And I'm really like, so I took a break from the Sonic stuff. I took a break from animation because it wasn't making like enough money. It wasn't making any money to like, not really. It had like a couple $100 a month, most of the time less. And it was just really discouraging because I would spend hours and hours every single day. I was doing a new animation every single day. And it amounted to nothing. What happened? So I have all these subs. I have a ton of subs. because I heard YouTube was, I had a hunch that YouTube was probably going to copy TikTok. So I made a bunch of content that was vertical content to get ready for when YouTube was going to bring in YouTube Shorts, because I thought they were going to do that, and I thought there was going to be money in that, and I thought I could kill it with that. And so like YouTube came out with their shorts, and I uploaded stuff, and I did actually. I did really, really well. And I got a ton of subs, but that's the advertisers didn't put their money in the vertical YouTube Shorts. All the money was in the 16:9. The aspect ratio for like typical like longer horizontal videos is called 16:9. If you don't know, if you do know, sorry. And so like people treated YouTube Shorts as like a For You page. Like people barely go to their subscriptions tab already, let alone people that use YouTube Shorts only. And so if you're using YouTube Shorts as you only go to your feed, like I have to compete. Like YouTube has an algorithm that say like if you have 100 subs, it'll show it to 10 people. And if those 10 people really are into it, then they'll show it to like 20 people. And if those 20 people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So like if I have a video that doesn't jive with the first 10 people, the video basically just dies immediately. If I make like kind of a funny joke that only I think is funny, those first 10 people that see it are like, whatever. And then YouTube is like, people aren't into this, so we're just going to like kill the video, blah, blah, blah. And definitely, like when I started doing 16:9 content as well, nobody would see that. But I had a couple videos pop off. I have a video with like I don't know, a couple million now. Several million. Let me see. I haven't looked in forever, so it's probably stupid huge now. Views. Oh no. Views. Yeah, I did a short called Indirect Kiss that has almost 20 million views. And then Barrel of Doom has 16 million. And then Wyamy Y has almost 4 million. Oh, My Style has 3 million. Oh, they forgot my pickles. Oh, I unlisted that one. Oh, yeah, right. Awooga has 2 million. Go Clean 2. I have several. I have a lot that are in the millions. But those are all shorts. Those are all shorts, right? Where there's not like a lot of money. Like if we go into Indirect Kiss, if we look at the money for Indirect Kiss, this is the one that has 19 million on it, right? Look at the analytics. This video, 19 million views, has only made $370. That's it. Since it first was released, May 6th of 2022, and that's garbage. And if that was a 16:9 video, even with it being less than a minute, it would still make a lot of money. But I put all my faith into shorts, and so like, I got a bunch of subs for those millions of videos. I get a ton of subs from that, but no one looks at the 16:9 content because they don't go to their sub feed. They're not alerted about it. It's not on their For You page. It's not blah 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 blah. And so I have like 250,000 subs, and then but like 115 views, 200 views, blah blah blah. And it's Sonic. It's always what was this? Is there any videos that I would love to do other videos, even on this channel. If I don't make a Sonic video, the video dies. If I do Mega Man content, it dies. If I do Spider-Man content, it dies. If I do Animaniacs content, it dies because the hype for the Hulu thing is gone. And so if I'm not doing Sonic content, it dies. All of this stuff. I have like one video in there that was Mario, and like the millions of views I was talking about, one is Mario, and I delisted it because I don't like it. But so basically, I have to go with like I'm trying to make like my what brought me. Okay, so I took a break from animation and I started doing music on this channel, and then I have a second channel which this is on right now, the gaming channel. That's right. I made Brinmations a music channel, and I started recording video games for something to look at for the music. And I put like the extra. I just started recording myself. I was doing like Let's Plays, and I just had the extra footage. I put the extra footage on my second channel, and that footage was doing better than the music videos itself. And in fact, this channel got fully monetized And I was like, okay, well, I guess there's something here. And so I kind of started doing that. But I guess the hype for this channel kind of died down because like I started doing video. I don't know. There wasn't a lot of, if I do like weird Sonic videos, it's always Sonic. It's always Sonic. Anyway, so I'm trying to make money off of YouTube again. And so my marketing brain fired up. And it was like the Sonic stuff is the only stuff that does well. And so I've kind of been pigeonholed into, make Sonic content. And that's the only stuff that's going to do well. And, if you feel your urge to run to the comments like, no, we'll support you no matter what, I appreciate that. I've changed content and genres a lot. And I get a couple people here and there. But like the stuff that gets over 500 views and like 1,000 views, it's Sonic. And I like Sonic enough. It's not a big deal. I mean, obviously I like Sonic enough. So, but like, if I dare stray to another IP, it's death for the channel. So, I'm kind of stuck doing Sonic stuff and like the animated Sonic stuff, obviously. And even on this channel, like if I'm not doing like one of my biggest videos was Sonic and Mario 64, and that really was a huge one for Brinimations too. And now I'm doing like Ring Racer stuff, and I don't know. The hype on this channel is kind of just like. So, I used to do stuff all the time in this, but I'm basically like, I try to draw every other day. I'm not trying to kill myself for it. Oh yeah. So I took a break from all that stuff because I was depressed about it, as well as like, I was animating or doing animatic, and I heard a pop in my hand, and I think a tendon popped or something because I can't quite put my thumb fully back. It hurt like a bitch, and I couldn't fully use my thumb in my right hand, the drawing hand. I don't really notice it now. I can't put my thumb back completely, like how you can nestle your thumb against the bridge of your hand. I can't do that on my right hand anymore. And so I got really, really like upset, like at fate or God or whatever, that I busted my ass drawing for so long that I didn't even make a career out of this. All I did was make like videos that get a couple hundred views, and then people would come in and say, wow, you only get a couple hundred views, you fell off, you really, wow, this is just like, how do you have a 250,000 subs but only like 400 views? Wow, are you botting? And all I did was get laughed at, and then I hurt my fucking hand, so I quit. So I said fuck this shit, and I walked away from it for a little while, and then I was talking to my mom about trying to do marketing stuff, and then in that moment I was like, I need to just start drawing Sonic again, because I'd been missing drawing. I'd been drawing my OCs for a little while, but I'm like, I'm not going to kill myself on this channel. I'm going to kind of aim for every other day, and that'll be, I'm going to, every other day, and then if I miss a deadline, or if I miss a day or two, or like a couple in a row, that's just how it is. Because I killed myself I put my nose to the grindstone for years. I drew every single day for 1 year, and it didn't get me anything. It didn't. All I did was like lose some mobility in my right hand. That's how hard I drew. That's how much I drew, is I hurt myself, and that sucks. So now, but I miss drawing. I drew all the time, so naturally I miss drawing, and so now I'm back, and I'm not really stressing over it. I'm trying to make it more. It's still like, I still try to have an objective. I'm trying to be more relaxed with it, but that's just kind of that's where the channel is. I kind of went off on a tangent, but whatever. Sayora, oh hey, I know her. What's up? Might have asked this before. I can't remember. On average, how long does it take you to work on a simple piece, music, art, or one of your animations? So for animations, it's like, so each frame that I sketch, color, shade, and all that is around 30 to 45 minutes, depending on the complexity. It's probably closer to 45 minutes each frame. So if I do something with 8 frames, that's like 4 hours, 5 hours of work, basically, of like drawing and like shading and stuff. And so, when I was trying to do this stuff every single day, there were a lot of shortcuts I took because I was just tired. And so like, I gotten pretty fast on it, but I'm not an animator, not by a long shot. I force myself how to draw as like trying to make a better life for myself. That hasn't happened because I open a Patreon and I get like 4 or 5 subscribers. I have a membership on YouTube and I have like 4 or 5 people. I take commissions. No one buys commissions, and that's fine. The world sucks. The United States is a terrible place to live in right now, and buying memberships and stuff is a luxury. And just this country, it's just not. I'm not saying you have. It sucks shit. I don't think you should spend money on anything that you absolutely can't afford. If you're not in a place, but it's still, I would see channels with half my subscriber count, have a laundry list of patrons, and I would just get jealous. I would just be like, man, I would just feel like I felt like just an animation dispenser. And I felt like I was just putting out animation and people thought of me as like a machine versus like a person. Like, I want another Sonic animation. I don't want to pay for it. I don't want to support you. I don't want to help you, but I want another one. More. And so I was okay, great. But that's not what you asked. that's not here or there. How long does it take? Purely objective answer with no sort of like thing behind it. Sorry. And Sayora, you know what? I talked about no one was a member. Sayora is actually a member of this channel. So shout out. She has a little Sonic icon next to her name because she's better than everybody else here. Because she's better than everyone else here. And she gets animations early and she gets sneak peeks of art and stuff. And she gets to see all this cool stuff behind the scenes because she's a member of this channel and she helps support me monetarily. Unlike you guys, music, it's samples and stuff. So I drag stuff to the timeline. I'm like, oh, that sounds okay. If I can get lucky sometimes, and I can actually, if I'm feeling it and it's coming together, I can get a song that I really, really like done in like 30 minutes. If I'm fighting with an instrument or I'm just not feeling it, I could spend hours on something and stop. I could spend hours and I could open it again, delete it, start over, delete it, start over. It could take me days to get a song to like 30 minutes. It just kind of depends on, what jives together that day. Louis Shirosagi. Can't Amy just tie Sonic up and force him to marry her? Think that's illegal? Yeah. Alberto, 24,611. 24,611. 24611. What is your art style? Because I want to draw exactly like your art style. Lord have mercy. Okay. That's really nice. I appreciate it. I just never get these types of comments. It's only been like kind of recently where I've gotten people like I drew Jax and people are like, oh my God, you drew Jax. Holy shit. And I was like, okay, what is this? This is weird. My art style, again, Richard Elson, Toei Animation, Sonic, Scott Shaw. But basically, so I sketch, I ink it, and then I ink it like while I ink the muzzle, and then I kind of go over the edges and make the edges thicker on the outside. So like I make the line work a little more dynamic by like where like the eyes, like there's a curve, like Sonic's eyes curve up, and then I make the lines thicker on the curve. And so it kind of like naturally like bends around and there's kind of a flow to it. If you like the inking, it's a little more dynamic, I guess. I don't know. Anthony Barr 5161. When is Midnight coming back? Sonic Midnight is a series that I first made when AI voices first came out. I didn't understand how much of a negative impact they had on the community. I just thought they were, if I just use like the packaged AI voices, that it wasn't a big deal. I never cloned voices. Obviously that you shouldn't do that. I just used the package deal. But I used to have a series where I wrote my own scripts. And I made a fun little script called Sonic Midnight for a little while. And I stopped doing that because even though I wasn't cloning voices, I was inspiring other people to use AI voices in their stuff. And I felt gross. And it's like to clone voices is just one tab away. And so I felt like really responsible. So for anything I use AI voices for, I delisted. I don't do them anymore. It was a mistake. I shouldn't have done it. It was stupid. And I apologize for it. And my apology to show that I'll never do it again is I took down every video, even the really popular ones. I took down every video that had AI voices and that was stupid. Don't do that. But I did bring Sonic Midnight back with trying to do like music videos. I did 2. I had like a storyline in my head. So I have a video of like Supersonic, Fleetway Supersonic, fighting Tails and Amy and Knuckles and all them. And then I have another video with Surge versus Shadow. And at the end, Midnight, the character Midnight, who is a organic version of Metal Sonic, which is an idea that apparently I'm not like, I've seen that several times done way better, but and basically will it come back? It is not. It's probably not going to, because I'm not, number one, I'm not doing AI voices anymore, so I can't do my own original content. And then to the music videos, it takes me like a month and a half to do a single like episode, and I can't afford to, like, I don't have that kind of time. Like, I need to be producing content all the time. So Sonic Midnight would be cool. I had like a really cool idea where I was gonna have this is we're now in fanfic territory. Hi everybody, put your fanfic hats on. And maybe this isn't the most original idea, but for me I thought it was cool. So organic Metal Sonic, like it's just so stupid. This is gonna sound so cornball. I just realized how fucking stupid I sound. There's this one issue, IDW Sonic, one of their most prolific pages they've ever done, doesn't have a single ounce of dialogue in it, is when there's the metal virus, and there's a vat of the metal virus that, like, when it touches organic flesh, it turns it into a robot. There's a vat of the metal virus, which is just this liquid hanging out, and Metal Sonic walks over to it, goes to put his hand in it, hesitates, pulls his hand back, clutches his fist, and then dips his finger into it, and then the metal virus just drips off, and Metal Sonic realizes that he actually is metal. He's not real. And that was such a profound piece from a Sonic comic. Just really blew my mind at how that was just done so amazingly well without a single line of dialogue, no dialogue. And I just kind of hyper focused on that. So I was like, and then there was this Sonic Mania short with Amy and Metal Sonic, and it kind of like Amy was really nice to Metal Sonic, and so I thought it would be kind of, this is so cornball, if Metal Sonic got a crush on Amy, which is, I've seen that a lot, that's out there, and then so like Eggman is trying this new tech where he's like turning stuff organic, but it keeps like failing, or it's not really what he wants to do, so he kind of puts the de-roboticizer off in the middle of the corner somewhere. And then okay, here we go. Metal Sonic sees the device, and he's told not to mess with it. He's told, don't touch it, don't mess with it, it's just in the corner somewhere. And he sees the de-roboticizer, and he wants to go use it, so he starts walking towards it, but then blip on his screen you see like error, and like Robotnik's logo pops up, and it's clear like his programming won't let him go to it. And so he kind of like whatever he goes on about, and like later on, after like a fight with Sonic or something, he comes back to it. Like a fight with Sonic and Amy's there or whatever, and he like is like still like has these weird sort of like eternal feelings for Amy. He comes back and like he's like looking at all the recorded footage of Amy and stuff, and he has like a wall of monitors, excuse me, just full of like different instances of Amy, and he's just like staring at it. And then he looks over to the de-roboticizer that's been decommissioned in the corner. It's still on. It shouldn't be in use. And so he goes over, he walks over to it again. There, boop, boop, there, error, do not interface, do not use. And he puts his hand inside the hole in his stomach, and he starts clawing away at his insides. He starts pulling out wires. He's pulling out guts. He's pulling out, there's just shit going everywhere. And then he finally gets his hand to like the program chip and rips it out of him. He rips out like this thing that is physically keeping him from being able to walk over there, and he crushes it in his hand. And then all of a sudden there's a timer. He has a minute before emergency shutdown. And so he's like hemorrhaging like liquid and fluid and stuff, and he like hobbles over the de-roboticizer and throws himself in it. And right as the emergency shutdown on himself goes out, he hits it, and he turns into Organic Metal Sonic, who I've called Midnight because that's a sick name. It's not a horse. It's a cool Sonic name. And but he is like, so his injuries translate to his organic form. So he's like, fuck, up like really bad. And at that time, Surge and Kid are walking around. They've like joined with Robotnik. So they're walking around, and then they see that there's this organic version. There's this bleeding hedgehog, like bleeding, like he's like been gutted. And so they get him and they take him to Robotnik, who he's not a doctor, but he has medical robots and stuff. And so Robotnik actually saves him, and he kind of realizes he has this like, but Midnight, or he has no idea where he is, what's going on, blah blah blah. And or maybe it'd be more interesting if Eggman didn't know about him, or maybe I don't know. No, Eggman has to know about him anyway. Sorry, I'm like musing now. And then so like Surge and Kid and Midnight kind of become buddies, but Surge wants to bounce from Robotnik because she starts thinking she's taking away opportunity from Kit, and she kind of like she kind of realizes that there's a better life if she joins Sonic Crew. At the time, this was like during the whole Surge Sonic fight. And like Sonic said that she could come back, no questions asked. You know, if you just want to be a good guy, you can just be a good guy. And she did go join willingly in the IDW comic, but at that time that hadn't happened. And so she's been like resisting. She has that thought pop in her head, like Sonic's voice keeps ringing in her head, like you can join whenever you want. You join whenever you want. Just shut up. And but she keeps thinking that she's taking away a lot of like, you know, she actually like she cares about Kid, and she thinks that she's taking away his life by like having him with her the whole time inside like Robotnik's, like being this there's not a life for him. So I think Surge reasonably could put Kit above herself. Like Surge is really, really selfish, but I think it's not without the realm of possibility that Surge would put Kit above herself. And so she thinks she needs to go back to like Sonic and be like, hey, I want to be buddies. And then like Midnight and all of them kind of join with her and Kit. And so there's this thing of like, who's Midnight? What's going on? Why is Surge joining? And then at the same time, Robotnik, since he helped heal Midnight, he realizes that his machine works, but only on like the robots that aren't internally run by animals. Like the fully autonomous, highly sophisticated robots are the only robots that transfer over to organic properly. And then he realizes that he has a couple of those actually. And so there's a organic version of Mecha Sonic, and I think I named something really stupid like Day or Medium or some stupid ass name. There's an organic version of Mecha Sonic and like Mecha Sonic Mark 1, and so like Eggman turns all his sophisticated robots into organic stuff, and there's like a showdown between. I have this other thing going on too, but it's neither here nor it's kind of an extra thing. But that's basically Sonic Midnight in a nutshell. As much as I would like for that to come back, the music animations take way too long to do, and if I did like just a comic with just text, you know, people would leave. No one's gonna watch that. No one's gonna read. If I just had like text bubbles pop up, I could do voices, but I don't know voice actors. I don't have friends that are voice actors. I don't have reliable friends that could sit and record. Like I get a lot of people like, why don't you just have you and your friends record? I don't have those types of friends. I have friends that like are like they draw and stuff, but they don't do voices. They don't record. So I don't have a cast of friends sitting in the wings ready to record stuff. And I don't like working with strangers because then strangers, if I just like do a casting call, always let me down. They're not fast enough. They're not dedicated enough. They do like one session and then they pull out because it doesn't fit with their time anymore. So I just don't. It's just not in the cards right now. It was kind of a fun idea, but it's just never gonna happen. So that's Sonic Midnight. Maybe a good idea, but it's just not in the cards right now. So if that's the only thing you're here for, and you want to subscribe, I'm not gonna blame you. But I'm doing a bunch of Sonic stuff all the time, so Sonic Midnight might show up in the background as like a reference, but there's like 2 or 3 people that have like organic versions of Metal Sonic that I like way more. So I'm kind of like, how long have we been going? I like to ramble. 49. Okay. Shirley Her 2548. Would you rather date Amy, Shadow, or Sally? I think Shadow is the only option. But even then, that doesn't really work. Princess Sally 8. I think they're all underage, bro. Yeah. Well, she's 18. I don't know. It's weird. I'm way too. If I was around the same age as Sally, that would be fine. Amy's Amy's still like a mid teenager, so that's a no go. And Shadow is like, I don't know how old he actually is before he was like cryogenically frozen or whatever. I know he's supposed to be like 50 years old, but not mentally. I don't know. If I was around now, it'd just be fucking weird. I'm like super old, and that would be super bizarre. So I don't know. Whatever. I don't really. Anyway, Gas Monkey. How did you come to your art style? I've answered that. Zez Crew 2. Do you draw on Adobe? Sorry, Gas Monkey. That kind of just I've like given everybody like a bunch of attention. Gas Monkey, I appreciate your question. I did answer this. I'm sorry my response is like kind of quick, but I've kind of gone over this in detail, so I'm sorry to just kind of like skip over yours. I appreciate your question, but I think I've answered it pretty good. I don't know. Zez Crew 2 asks, do you draw in Adobe Flash, Adobe Animate? I draw and animate bass backwards. Don't do what I'm about to tell you what I do, but this is what happens. I sketch in Adobe Photoshop. I bring it over to Clip Studio Paint, and then I ink it and do the flats in Clip Studio Paint, as well as the shades. I shade it in Clip Studio Paint, and then I bring it back over to Photoshop, and I clean it up, and I give it like, I give it a little, like a razzmatazz. And then I save that as an individual PNG, and then in Adobe Premiere, welcome to hell. And then in Adobe Premiere, I move the PNGs around like fun little sprites. And that's how I make the videos. Yay! ResMat69, what do you use to make your art? Hey, Res, thank you for the question. I appreciate it. I think I've gone over that in detail. So, I appreciate you kind of get the short end of the stick here. I apologize. Retrospector04 asks, what inspired your name of your channel? Brinmations. I used to have a gaming channel called Bryn Star, which is the name of a Super Metroid level with an extra N in it. When I started doing my animations for TikTok, I would post them in my Discord, but TikTok links wouldn't show a preview image, and so people just saw a link, and all my friends would just skip over my video because they didn't see a thumbnail. They couldn't watch the video right away. And so I was like, okay, I need to make them easier for them. So I made another channel, and I was like, I don't know, I'm doing animations. I don't know, Brinmations, whatever. And when people started calling me Brin Animations, I think it's because of Jaden Animations, but I'm like, that's not what's there, whatever. It's Brin Animations. And I'm like, no, but okay. So I just named my Brinmations, whatever. It's Bryn Star Animation. I don't fucking know, whatever. And I just started uploading stuff here. So, Bryn Star, I named it. So, I had when like my first like World of Warcraft huge game. I made a Night Elf priest, and I was looking up what to name him. I just picked like level names from Super Metroid, and I named her Bryn Star. And I was kind of role playing as a girl, and I really enjoyed that. Glean whatever you want out of that statement, but I did really enjoy that. And if I didn't sound so much like a guy, and if I wasn't a big fat guy, I might try to like go as she, her. It just would never work. I'm like old, and I'm this huge monster. It would never work. I really enjoyed that. And I met like a guild. I joined the guild. I was the main healer for the guild. I met a lot of friends. We weren't like huge. It was like the guild was called like Blood Moon. It was really cool. Everybody was really nice. And so I wanted to make a channel that was a positive on my life. And so I named my channel Bryn Star, and then my animations. The Brinmation channel completely eclipsed my gaming channel. And by like 10, 100 times, it just was like doing a gaming channel was a complete waste of time at this point. So I eventually just shut that down. And then I went back into gaming. And then I have Brinmations too. So I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what happened. It just got weird. So that's Brinmation. There you go. Brinstar with an extra N. And then my Brinstar is still the name of my music channel. So on Spotify, I'm Brinden Star. And I have a Brinstar music channel, and it's stupid. Expired Mex and Mince again asks, who's your favorite Sonic character? Surge the Tenric. I love Surge. I'm in love with Surge. I love her character design. I love her attitude. I love her lightning powers. She's just definitely my favorite Sonic character is 100% Surge. Followed by probably Fang the Sniper. Always been a Fang the Sniper and Act the Weasel fan. And then probably Honey the Cat. I know, I just like her. And then like probably Shadow, and then Knuckles, and then Sonic himself finally. And then Eggman, Mecha Sonic, Blaze, Silver Amy. We're kind of getting into like we're splitting hairs now. Like they're all really close at this point. You asked me about Amy, Shadow, or Sally. I had a huge crush on Bunny Rabbit as a kid. I don't know something about Southern girls. I don't know what it is. Super William Bros. YouTube asked, when do you start making animations? 2019, 2018, 2019, kind of something around there. I made it. I like TikTok was getting popular, and I made some stupid ass video where I just recorded some dumb ass video and went viral. And I was like, this is stupid. If I want to go viral, I want to go viral for my art. And so then I really hunkered down. I started drawing. Rescue Team. Star Catchers. Hey, what's up? I see you all the time. How are you? Mid. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not depressed. I used to be pretty depressed, and I'm drawing again. So now I'm just mid. I don't know how to explain it. Solo Light, Lemon, yes or yes. Sure. I don't know what this is a reference to. I hope I just didn't say something stupid. Venom Hedgehog asks, who do you enjoy the most drawing? Sonic. Sonic is just easy to. I don't have to look at anything. Whenever I draw basically any other character, I always have a reference just to make sure I'm not messing anything up. Sonic, I can just kind of go for it, and I've drawn him so much that I know what's going on now. Marcelo Vielda, sorry, 7222. The metal turned back on his memory. That's funny that's so funny that was someone did a 3D animation of that audio that basically mimics my animation, which was crazy. But the audio is actually from Red versus Blue. And I every so often I get sick of trying to hunt down the audio on TikTok. So then I hunt it out. I try to find audio on YouTube or wherever. And I found Red versus Blue, and I was like, yes, this here. And that one is one of the more popular audios I have. I'm glad. I love Red versus Blue. So the fact that it kind of took off was, I was hunting down audio and I was watching Tiny Toons, and I had like I need to work on my girlish figure. In fact, you should probably work on your boyish figure. And then Buster's like, I am, I'm on a seafood diet. When I see food, I eat it. Ha ha ha. And that audio kind of went viral on TikTok for a spell a while there. And I was like, yes, I brought Tiny Toons audio into the public, in the forefront. Sonic DX. I wonder, how did you end up making this channel and how did it grow? Just taking some inspo for my dead channel, getting only 3 views. Hi. I'm in marketing. I have a marketing degree, as well as I have 17 years of professional marketing experience. So I only say that because I don't get to a lot, and it makes me feel better. How did I end up making this channel? It was just a place to put my animations on, and I was just kind of doing. So I first started doing. I used to switch up IPs every week. One IP, 1 week it would be Sonic, 1 week it would be Mario, 1 week it would be Danganronpa, 1 week it would be Paper Mario: 1,000-Year Door, 1 week it would be Doki Doki Literature Club. Well, Shantae, blah, blah, blah. I would just be switching IPs, which is a mistake. You got to stick with one IP and you have to hit it into the ground. But, and then I stuck with Animaniacs because it was 1 week time to change IPs. And I went to Animaniacs and I needed something. And then I thought this new game, Friday Night Funkin' came out. I was like, I don't know, this shit. I guess I could do like a thing where it looks like the Animaniacs are in Friday Night Funkin', but I don't know how to do mods, so I'll just make one, whatever. And that was the first video on this channel to go really viral. I got like 500,000 views in a couple weeks, and then the heat died immediately. But that got really viral, and I was like, oh shit. So I did a second one, and then I kind of had a thought. So then, and that one did really well, but then I thought, I was like, okay, I'm either going to be known as the guy that does Animaniacs versus Friday Night Funkin' animations, or I could pivot to either Friday Night Funkin' videos or Animaniacs videos. But I don't want to continue on Animaniacs versus Friday Night Funkin' stuff, or because the Friday Night Funkin' community will eventually die. And I was wrong. It is alive and vibrant and angry. But so I was like, I'm going to do a third one where I just draw like all the Animaniacs characters. I'm going to bring in Tiny Toons. I'm going to bring in Freakazoid. I'm going to do this huge video. And I did. But after that was my send-off. Like, here's the last Friday Night Funkin' Animaniacs video. And then I pivoted to just Animaniacs. And I did Animaniacs shorts like every other day and then every day for like 2 years. And then the hype for Animaniacs just died one day. It just was, I was losing subs. Like the hype for the new Hulu season completely died. People weren't searching it anymore. Nobody, like the videos weren't doing anything. And one day I was losing subs. I was like in the negatives. And I was like, all right, I'm going to just pivot to Sonic because I like Sonic or whatever. And like immediately I saw an increase in like stuff went back up. The lights were coming on. Satellites were connecting in the air. And so like the Sonic community, it's really about like your content of like what's searchable. Like I always say, so like there's like obviously I want numbers. Obviously I want stuff to do well, but I want to also I want to draw what I want to draw. Sonic is just really popular online and will always be popular and has just the highest search rating. So if you draw Sonic stuff, you're like bound to do well. Mario has like its own community. You could probably do that. It's just kind of like, you could probably draw My Little Pony is really big. You could draw whatever. If you're just passionate about what you do, that will come through in what you make. And just be passionate about what you make. There are a couple things to do. There are outliers. There are the people that, so like you do need to update like at least once a week and probably over a minute. If you have really short content, you probably need to update several times a week. Or YouTube is just going to think your channel is a waste of time. Unless you have shorts once a week that pop the fuck off. You just have to make content often. You have to do content at least once a week. And then you have to put that content on YouTube Shorts. Then you have to put that content on TikTok. Then you have to put that content on Threads. Then you have to put that content on Instagram. Then you have to put that content on Twitter. Then you have to blah, blah, blah. Then you have to and it all links back to I don't know. You just have to grow your presence online. And you like a simple way to grow your content is to do 5-1 rule. What the 5-1 rule is, you do 5 pieces of fan art or 5 pieces of something that is like that is popular, and then you do one for yourself. And so you do like 5 things on Sonic, and then the next thing is something about your OC. And so you give people what they want, or you do really, here's the plan. Big YouTubers. If you're an artist, if you're a musician, do something about big YouTuber, or like the Amazing Digital Circus, or Murder Drones, or God, I can't think of, or Hell of a Boss, or Has Been Hotel, or what are those big things that everyone is talking about? Or do one of the really big, like just go to like search terms and just see how many results. Like go to YouTube, type in something. Oh no, here's how to find out what's popular. Go to any music artist, like popular internet music artist that isn't really on a signed label, but they do kind of like The Games or a CG5 or any of those bands. See what they're making. Kind of take note of that. Then make art or content about that and do 5 of those, and then do one that's just for you. And then you just kind of repeat that process infinitum until you explode. Do fan art of big YouTuber. Do fan art of Markiplier. Oh, there's kind of like weird shit going on with Mark. Do fan art of Jacksepticeye. Do fan art of some YouTuber. Queso is really big right now. Do fan art of Queso and some TikToker, some big TikToker, and then you put them in the comments, and then if it's good enough, they may see it and be like, "Wow, this is awesome," and it goes to their audience. And you just do fan art. You do fan art. You do fan art. You do fan art. You do fan content. You do popular game. You do popular game. You do popular game. And then maybe like the sixth one is like this little indie game that you really like. Like you have like a video on Sonic, Mario, and then like Gravity Rush. Like, oh, okay. And then Sonic, Mario, blah, blah, blah. So that's what I would do if you're trying to grow your channel is often, like update often and do what's popular. That's not the same for Twitch. If you're talking about streaming, you just have to make popular videos on side channels and then get people from other media sources to go to your Twitch. If you just stream without doing like the hard work of getting on other social media, you're just going to be broadcasting to 0 people. And I saw Pirate Software said that you need to stream at least 3 days a week at the same time for at least 3 hours. And you need to have a schedule. And if you don't have a schedule, you're just kidding yourself. And you just stop. And he's the expert, so I just kind of defer to that. Sailor Darty, how many bananas make a bunch? 3. I don't know. This has got to be referenced to something I'm missing. I'm sorry. Scribble Creations 9733 asks, would you rather have unlimited bacon but no more games, or games, unlimited games but no games? I don't like bacon. I like bacon by itself, but I'm not crazy about it. I don't like it on sandwiches. If there's a plate of bacon, I like 1 or 2 by itself, but I don't like. You can just get rid of the bacon. I know that's a weird answer, but it's true. Chajaz 5529. Do you have siblings? I have a half brother from an estranged side of the family that can go fuck themselves. I have a half brother from a father I didn't know, and I emailed him once, and he was an asshole. And then a couple years later, he died. And then the rest of that family can go fuck themselves. And I'll tell you why they can go fuck themselves. My grandma on that side was the only person who really tried to make a connection. So, okay. Hi. My biological father, it was kind of an abusive prick, verbally and physically. And so my mom divorced his sorry ass. And my mom got full custody by promising she wouldn't go after his military fund. And so then my biological father fucked the fuck off. And I never saw him. I didn't know him. I have no idea what kind of person. Well, he's an asshole, but and so he had a child with another woman, so I have a half brother, technically, but my grandma, his mother, tried to always like send something on my birthday and Christmas, and she tried to make a connection, and she was nice. She was the only like her and grandpa on that side of the family were the only people that really tried to give a shit. Well, grandpa died, and that was kind of crappy. That was really crap. I'm sorry. It was awful. And so I sent grandma flowers for her birthday, like all the time. And then one year I couldn't get a hold of her. The flowers weren't delivered. They said they weren't delivered properly. I don't know if she got them, blah, blah, blah. I called. I couldn't get a hold of her. And I called my uncle, and I was like, hey, do you know what happened to these flowers? And she's like, oh yeah, your grandma died. And I was like, what do you mean? And like, oh yeah, no, we got the flowers and we sent it to her, and we actually got it to her, and she died. She died like a week ago. The funeral already happened. It was really nice, but we didn't tell you about it, and we didn't invite you to the funeral. And I was like, oh. And then I hung up. Then I kind of like paced around my apartment for a little bit, and I went back to my computer, and I blocked every single person of that family, and I deleted every single person of that family out of my phone. And they could all go fuck themselves. They can all go fuck themselves forever, including my goddamn half-brother, Scott, who can go straight to hell because he was part of that mess and never. We've gone from like fake anger to real. I just crossed over into real like rage. So I'm going to step back from this. So yes, I have a half-brother. He's a piece of shit. And our father's super dead, and I kind of don't give a shit. Kosomo lore at Homestar Runner. I love Homestar Runner. I did a couple shorts where I animated Homestar Runner, and that went over well. But the audience for Homestar Runner really isn't that big, so there was a people pleaser. There wasn't enough people, but I liked doing those shorts. That was a lot of fun. I have the Strong Bad plush and the Homestar puppet that just came out. Man, Homestar Runner. Super Ninja Chicken 64 asked, will you answer this question? No. Ryu was unavailable. Why? Was this in my recommended? I don't even know who you are. That's fair. And that's it. That's literally all of them. There's one I skipped, but it was dumb. Anyway, that's it. Thank you guys for asking questions. If you have any more questions, leave them here. It doesn't have to be necessarily about my stuff. You could have, if you want advice, or if you have a question about marketing or how to start a channel or grow a TikTok or art suggestions or art advice or like anime recommendations or whatever, you can ask it here and I'll do another one of these. Anyways, thank you guys for hanging out. I'll see you next one. Bye bye.